Thank you for having us.
Yeah, Counsel, I often hesitate when we want to talk about court case, because the temptation is that by the time you realize, you know, you've been caught up, you know, discussing the substance of the case. But I think this notion is very, very important, that people are thinking, hey, NDC, you are shifting the goalposts. You said there's no overvoting. Now you are showing him other pink sheets where you allegedly want to claim that there's overvoting. Is this propaganda true?
Yeah. Thank you very much. And I want to greet all our listeners this evening.
And of course, viewers.
And viewers, anyway. Thank you very much for that correction. You all remember what happened the last 2 days when Chachu brought up a pink sheet from Asokwa.
Yeah.
And trying to make a point, trying to cross-examine Dr. Baumia on it.
That's a stronghold of the MPP.
Yes, that's a stronghold of the MPP. That's very critical. Indeed. You remember that when Philip Addison raised the objection, the judges went to chambers and then they came back and overruled that objection. In essence, what the judges said was that all the pink sheets, 26,002 polling stations pink sheets, were in issue.
Okay.
And therefore, they admitted the pink sheet that Chachu brought. Well, they made a qualification that Chachu should ask questions, composite questions on the pink sheets. What that is supposed to mean is that we have a lot of pink sheets that are not before the courts. Now, the petitioners submitted about 11,842 later on in the witness box, tried to amend their pleadings. Indeed, the justices do not want so many surprises. So what they are saying is that, yes, you can speak to pink sheets that are not before us, but because the analysis is based on the 26,002 polling stations, you can raise issues with pink sheets that are not before us. So what they are trying to say is that if you have an issue with respect to pink sheets that are not before, put them together into a composite question and then put it to the witness.
Okay.
And to me, that was a grand ruling.
How so?
This is because the petitioners were trying to be selective. That's why a question was put to the witness that, what's the percentage of votes for President Mahama that you want annulled? He said 55.6. What is the percentage for Nana that you want annulled? 28%. Clearly saying that they have decided to pick issues with the areas which are the strongholds of the NDC and come to court with it. So the NDC replies in their amended answer and say that the petitioners are acting in bad faith. And the last time I said that the Supreme Court does not have original jurisdiction normally. It is an appellate court. It's a court that deals with points of law. So this petition hearing is an original jurisdiction, and it's supposed to be quick because that's not their normal, work. That is why they've set some rules, and clearly you see that in the rules that they have set for the trial of this matter, it's a bit different from the normal rules at the Supreme Court. Some are relaxed, some are a bit strict. So, Chachu brought a pink sheet, and before he brought the pink sheet up, he has asked the question, if these irregularities happened in the strongholds of the first petitioner, would you have asked the court to annul? Because they thought they could answer any question. They said Chachu is that they called him all names. Because they do not understand what he's doing. Who was picked to answer? Like, oh yes, I would have called for the annulment of these ones.
Okay.
Then he brought out the sheet. He said, you said you examined 24,000 and over sheets. Didn't you find this one? This is also something that is similar to your claim. I am not admitting your claim of overvoting.
By going by your definition.
But by going by your definition, this one falls also in there from your stronghold. So why didn't you ask that this one be annulled? You get it?
Okay.
Well, I am speaking on facts only. We have had some information from people I do not know, and I cannot testify to that information, that before they came to court, they decided to take out areas where Nana, scored more in the results, that they were the petitioners, and they can decide which issue they can bring to court.
But is that not fair, that you only bring evidence that are necessary to support your claims?
You see,
why should they bring what would affect
questioning
them?
A whole electoral process. And for the judges, to be fair to the judges, for them to give a fair ruling, a ruling that will be, acceptable by all, it is only fair that you say, my lords, these 26,000 species are in what do you call it?
Dispute.
They are in dispute over alleged irregularities here and there. However, we want to zoom in on 11,000.
Okay.
So for me, if somebody even attempts to bring all the other species that are not before the justices, the NPP should be happy. Why are they sad?
After all, they want the thing to be corrected.
What they are saying now is that, we are looking at only 11,138. Do you think justice will be done if only 11,138?
That's the question to ask.
That. And then after the 11,138, you go back and subtract or deduct from 26,000. And you are saying that the rest of the 26,000 should not come to the court. I don't want to go into the issue.
Yeah.
But what I want to let our listeners and our viewers know is that Chachu has pleaded that the petitioners are acting in bad faith.
Okay.
And he wants to prove to the court that they are acting in bad faith, that they go to somebody's strongholds and bring pinches from the strongholds and tell the court to annul it, and then leave their strongholds, which also have similar claims that they are.
I have two quick questions.
Yes.
One is that if the petitioners are able to produce even a single pink sheet from the 11,000 that it is before the court, would that is that going to collapse the claim of bad faith by Chachu? If the petitioners are able to say, hey, even in the 11,000 that we have produced, some of them are the stronghold of Akufo-Addo, so court, there's no bad faith. Indeed, would that be enough?
It is not a matter of producing one or two. It's a matter of acting in good faith, in all honesty, and say that I went through 24,000. This is what I found. When you go through the rest, you won't find anything. And this is exactly what Chachu is trying to prove to them, that in all the categories, there are numerous pink sheets that also fall in the category that they said they have examined, and therefore they should have found. So if they are not there, it means that they found it and deliberately decided to draw them back because it favors the first petition.
Even though I do not want us to dwell on this too much, but just finally, assuming, of course, without admitting that the courts accept the argument of bad faith, what happens? And then they accept all the other pink sheets. It means we are going to have total nullification of the electoral results.
That is far from the issue.
Okay.
The court does not. You see, our system is a common law system. And in the common law system, the judge is a referee. So the judge does not do the job for the parties. He allows the parties to fight. So when the issues are there, says that, I don't want to go into the matter.
Yes, please don't.
I mean,
I risk being in contempt of court.
When they decide that, all these are in issue, where are they? Who filed them? How would the judges know the numbers on those ones? The judges cannot file those sheets for anybody.
Okay.
And the EC is not filing them, the rest. The NDC, as far as I know, is not filing the rest. So it means that any judgment on a part of the sheet, you can continue.
This is an interesting dimension. I'm sure that we are here to see more intriguing aspect of the case unfold.
That is great.
Yeah, Tubiga, from the ordinary man's perspective, this is very legalistic.
Yes.
How do you see that twist that NDC? I mean, I'm sure now you've been disabused.
Yes.
That everything is clear.
Yes.
Thank you, and hi to the listeners and viewers out there. I'm happy what is happening in the court issue. Looking at the way our able and legal team, the trend and where they're taking the issue, I'm very, very comfortable. I'm convinced. I have been convinced. This is an election that the international observers, all right, said this is a legitimate, a fair election. Countries like America have endorsed this election. And the MPP, knowing very well that they've lost and refusing to concede, trying to draw the attention of Ghanaians to see what the NDC is doing for the welfare of Mother Ghana, distracting people and taking an issue that is illegitimate, pink sheets that are manually and electronically falsely generated to waste Ghanaians, taxpayers' money, of course, showing this every day. And we know, Ghanaians know what is happening in the nation. I mean, the same Electoral Commission body, Afarijan hasn't been changed in 2000. It's the same Electoral Commissioner that declared the elections in favor of the MPP. I think in 2000 and what? 2000 and, I mean, for 8 years, right? There was no problems with electronic and manually generated pink sheet issue. Now that NDC, okay, is in power, instead of Akufo-Addo doing Ghanaians the favor of coming out to concede for the integrity of the Electoral Commission to be protected, because that is the electoral body of our democratical system in Ghana. And we think it's very important that Ghanaians or the leadership of MPP should put Ghana first. Election, you don't fight, you don't go to polls and expect that if it's not on your side, it means it's not right. And why didn't they pick the stronghold like Manshia, Tafo? I wanted to see Bawumia mentioning Manshia, Tafo, Go. So those areas that they think should bring it forward. Why are they picking and choosing areas that, are you getting where I'm coming from? And I'm surprised a whole Bawumia, who is being used as a sacrificial lamb to achieve an aim of getting sympathy. That's another.
But no, he said he's fighting for the democracy of Ghana. Lawyer, yeah, I'll come to you. So make sure you jot that point
If
down.
they are fighting for the democracy of Ghana.
I mean, the question was put to him that, hey, you want to be a vice president?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
He wasn't expecting to be a vice president. And I wonder why he was in court.
I hope and pray that Bawumia did not put in his resume in applying for a job that he's the first vice president, a failed vice presidential candidate that is taking the electoral commissioner to court to prove a point on his resume. And if, God forbid, and he did that, then I'm sorry, because his figures are wrong. The evidence that he has calculated and manipulated to put there are false. Are you getting where I'm coming from? And Ghanaians should understand that the fragile of our democracy, which is being narrowed and caused by the MPP in Ghana at the moment, that people are tensed, lives are being lost, all because of power, then they should judge. Our president did not fight, did not go to court. As a matter of fact, he woke up one morning and the opportunity was there for him through Mother Nature. He used 3 months to prove to Ghanaians that, hey, I've been a vice president, I am ready, I am capable, you've seen what I've been able to do when I was vice, and Ghanaians gave him the mandate. And I want His Excellency Akufo-Addo to please tell Ghanaians, give us a peace of mind that I, Akufo-Addo, the failed presidential candidate for MPP, will accept the verdict, be it left or right, in the interest of Ghana. If he mans up enough and tell Ghanaians these words, then we will know that they are fighting a good cause. But we know he's trying to get sympathy for the MPP to give him the chance to lead 2016.
Let me also remind you about this quickly before I go back to lawyer. Chumberwa, the question was put to him regarding the fact that Akufo-Addo held a press conference and he was advocating, and that perhaps it is the casting of the ballots that is sacrosanct.
Yes.
Any other thing else is just administrative duty.
Yes.
And the question was put to him. He said that he understood that to be administrative rigging.
Yes.
I'm sure you remember that.
Yes, yes,
I thought that was an unfortunate
yes, my brother. It's very
coming
unfortunate
from a person like that.
For his caliber of, his status as a supposed vice president,
in waiting,
God forbid, in Ghana, making such comment, because you have trained your polling agents. They were trained, selected, card-bearing members, having the interests of the MPP at heart, standing there, watching for votes, side by side with all the parties. Votes have been casted. They have counted. Other places, they protested, and it was recounted. They endorsed it, only for their own presidential candidate to say they were just there as observers. This is an insult to the integrity of the people that were pulling their backs. Are you getting me? Sacrificing and standing in those woods. When I mean woods, without water, in the rural areas, making sure the votes were counted. And you sit
day and night. Some can even go through to the midnight.
And you take few minutes to discredit the people. I'm not surprised if a whole sitting member of parliament, his radical bodyguards, are you getting me? A whole sitting member of parliament of Menchia can hide.
Yeah,
I'm just making a comment.
Yes, that point is very crucial. We are going to discuss that here and now.
A honorable member of parliament, are you getting me? In office, will hide a criminal that is being wanted by the police, only to who has been guiding him and doing all the bad.
You mean his henchman?
Yes, and who has always been fed, protected, are you getting me? Taken care of by this member of parliament.
You have evidence to that? Because you sound very sure.
Yes, and everybody in Kumasi knows that this guy was among the guys that have been harassing, terrorizing.
I want you to hold on that point, because there's an important text that I have to read. After that, we'll come to the Kumasi case proper,
no problem.
And that you have your turn on it. I have this text from Ferguson. He said he was trying to describe in a very dramatic fashion how the MPP described their watertight evidence, and now that it's collapsing. He said after the man who built the Titanic, you remember the Titanic, and he was asked, reporters asked him how safe it is. He said that not even God can sink it. He said not even God can sink it. And we all knew about the story of Titanic. We saw how Titanic sank. Sank. Sorry. So now that we are seeing that, it is clear that it looks like the MPP's evidence is also expressing the catastrophe that before the Titanic.
Yeah, you see.
Yeah, Council.
I on the Chachupin sheets that they call surprise. You see, the manner, every lawyer has a way of conducting his cross-examination.
Good.
The way you go about it, the way you start, then the witness will be answering until you make the point out that destroys his evidence. The EC, what Chachu did, is not different from what the EC tried doing when the EC brought the pink sheet from Bahumia's own polling station. You know, the EC has admitted clearly that what they are talking about are all clerical errors, which do not in any way go down into what actually made the declaration. That is, the votes obtained by the candidates.
Okay.
Because in all this, the petitioners are not challenging the votes that are not obtained. They are not challenging that. They say, oh yes, he got 10 in this place, he got 5, he got here 700. They agree. But they are challenging the clerical errors in filling what I call official, something that is supposed to be for the EC. Administrative errors. That's what they are contesting.
He said it's administrative rigging.
So the EC attempted doing what Chachu did, but he failed because, or let me say, he did not, in a manner, set up the question that would have enabled him pull up the print sheet from Baumia's polling station. But that being said, it's not over. The EC will come into the evidence box,
of course,
after the cross-examination, and he can now pull the Baumia's polling station and then relate to their own evidence. I am sure. I don't know what happened at the Baumia's polling station, what the EC wanted to do with it. But I am sure that there will be some same clerical mistakes that also was hidden, going straight back onto the bad faith. Okay. Do you get it? So I want our supporters to be calm,
as they've always been.
As they've always been, that this case is going nowhere. And if they want to see how the end will be, they should see what happened when Gloria Kufu, after a court 2 days ago, when Gloria Kufu was being, chased around by the media.
You mean she refused to grant interview?
I have not said that, but if they want to see the end,
why? She was
the end is just like
she was demoralized.
Well,
she lost hope already.
She's my senior.
Let's quickly come back to the issue of these killings, and
I would like to
briefly.
I'll make
briefly because we're running out of time.
The Titanic. I mean, compare the text that
sent by Ferguson.
Sent by Ferguson. I disagree because the Titanic ship, to build a ship, you have to measure the actual length, width, and then calibrate with the weight of the engine that is going to be put in, plus the people, to have the ship sail very well on the sea. And Titanic didn't malfunction. There's nothing in the mechanism that sank Titanic. It was an accident that sank Titanic. But the MPP pink sheet, manually and electronically generated, is being orchestrated by
deliberate
orchestrated by people that are hungry for power at any due cost, picking and choosing areas, police stations that favored their dubious intentions, cooked their own allegations,
will not be pleased with
and little did they know that the stumbling block or the walls that is built behind Chachu cannot be penetrated and is crumbling. So comparing Titanic to MPP is falsely cooking a ship, which was definitely sink. So since he's used a ship, I'm going to use a ship. It's like miscalculating the weight of the ship, miscalculating the calibration of the engine, and miscalculating the type of weight and volume that the ship and the width and the ship sank in the sea. And that is what is happening to the MPP gradually. Their Titanic, but the legitimate Titanic was built well, just like NDC. We don't sink.
I hear. Counsel, I wanted to find out, there was what I want to call some verbal exchanges in the court regarding comment Chachu made to Baomia's testimony. Say, Baomia, you are being dishonest. I know that it's a fundamental practice in law, in cross-examination, where you can put it to the witness when you are sufficiently convinced, based on the evidence before you, that the witness is being dishonest. That is not to attack his personality, attacking him as a witness, And Addison said, I thought that comment was very unfortunate. He said, how would Chachu use that word, especially that phrase, that expression, especially coming from you?
I'm also surprised, just as you are, because
I thought it was very unfortunate and highly unprofessional.
These are phrases that we normally use in court. You see, you want to discredit the witness, you want to limit his evidence, you want to discredit the evidence also that is before him. In cross-examination, unless you are restrained by the judge, you can go to the moon and back. And I have said that the Supreme Court has devised strict rules with respect to this petition. Otherwise, I don't think my senior counsel, a senior learned friend, will be saying what he's saying. If it was the normal rules of court, normal rules of cross-examination, we would have had more issues, more than this. You want to discredit the witness before the judges. You want to let him know that, look, you are a dishonest person, that your evidence before the court should be taken with a pinch of salt. So I think he should even be grateful that the Supreme Court has disallowed.
Addison took it personally.
I mean, the Supreme Court, he should be grateful that they have disallowed a lot of rules with respect to cross-examination because of the expedition manner in which the judges want this case to go. Otherwise, in court, cross-examination is not something that you want to, I mean, it's fireworks.
Yeah. Okay, yes. Counsel, quickly, let's draw attention to today's, the main discussion properly, what I want to call the unlawful killings in Kumasi. Information we have indicates that it could be reprisal attack, but the police are still investigating to an earlier incident that occurred when the MP for Menchia, that's Matthew Puku Prempe, aka Napo, his bodyguard was involved in some, misunderstanding with some, people within that area. But to me, what I think this goes beyond that. I think that it's about time that the laws work. The laws simply must work. I risk saying that if it continues on this, thread, we won't be safe. Honestly, I mean, it's a bad development.
Yes, that is true. I have made some background checks, and like you rightly said, last year there was an incident where some shooting incident involving some persons who were described as the bodyguards of Napo, Honorable Matthew Puku Prempe. And the police took up the matter. My information is that the matter is still being investigated. And my information also is that one of the guys who was killed yesterday, had been on the police wanted list with respect to that earlier shooting incident.
Okay.
So the police have mounted a search for him and they never found him until his untimely death yesterday. I remember when that gentleman, who is sort of, was also being named as a sympathizer of the NDC, his name has been given as Matthews, was shot last year. There were a lot of calls on the government to get Napo arrested. But indeed, I trust our police service to always do a good job. Maybe they didn't find Napo directly involved in that issue. And therefore, there was no need to arrest him. I have also read and I've also heard Napo saying that this is not a political issue and that these guys have their own differences. And that has led to the reprisal attack. Indeed, in all this, what are we seeing? It's a very bad issue. It is a security issue, a security threat in the Kumasi metropolis.
Because the last time it was armed robbers going on rampage.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the issue that happened, that the
broad daylight.
Broad daylight. Now, we have a shooting incident. My information is that the Matthews guy is still alive.
Okay.
Only that he has a bullet in his body, which doctors have described that it may not harm him. Okay. And then I also learned that one of his arms is totally disabled. He's limping anyway, but he is very much alive. He's well, and he's around. And unfortunately, these two guys could not survive the incident of yesterday. Are we seeing gangsters in this country?
That is my worry.
Sometimes I tell my people that we should be ready for democracy. Democracy breeds some of these issues. Recently, we heard of these gays and lesbian issues and all. Democracy is very costly, not only because of the governance issue. Some of the things that people will do, that others will see it as right. You understand? And needs to be protected. Sometimes they lead to some of these things. What are we also seeing in this matter? Small arms proliferation.
Yeah.
People having guns in their rooms. Anyhow. Gun trade. What is happening? You get it. Now, we have a whole gang mass up in a vehicle, move to a place, give warning shots, shoot at us, and then, butcher them. It's very, 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 very,
bloody
very bad. But what I want to say is that we need to depoliticize this issue. We are having criminals being harbored by certain unscrupulous persons, because whenever somebody is gagged, whenever somebody is arrested by the police, quickly they said, oh, because he's an MPP man.
Yes.
That is why he has been arrested.
Way to,
you get it? When another person is arrested, he says, oh, I am NDC. And then somebody will move in and said, oh, when the MPP man did it, he didn't do anything to him. We have seen in this country when people insult president, when people, commit crime, that political leaders go behind them. And then the next time you hear police is investigating and then nothing happens.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say that we don't even know the status of that report.
Exactly. That's what I started with. I said, the police is investigating the matter. But one of the guys who was shot was a prime suspect in that issue.
Okay.
So they cannot complete their investigation without arresting the guy who was shot. You get it?
Yeah.
So if the police have not finished their investigation, this time around, I give it to them because there was a prime suspect involved and they couldn't find him. I learned that the guy is around. That's what somebody said. I mean, I called my friends in Kumasi and said, oh, the guy walks around. So they don't understand why the police said they can't find him. But I have said I don't want to politicize the issue.
Sometimes if the impunity is so glaring.
If you say the guy is walking around, but he has not been arrested, it does imply that there are certain people behind him.
Yes.
Who is giving him that freedom?
Faceless forces.
But another side of the story is that these guys who committed this murder knew that the guy was around. They even attempted to arrest him and send him to police station.
Okay.
But anytime
that is if police say they can't find him,
exactly,
we know where he is.
But anytime they attempted, the guy bolted.
Okay.
You see, so I think maybe they had to change their style. That this time around, okay, fine. When we find you, this is what we do. But it is very bad. And I believe I am asking the national security apparatus to be in full gear with this issue. It cannot continue.
I'm sure they are on top of issues.
It cannot continue.
Yeah, Council, I'll come back to you for your further stuff. Yeah, Stephen, I do not think that this is a scene that you think is interesting witnessing. And in my view, I think that is very gory and it is not the best, especially when we have outstanding matters in the election, that we need to concentrate on and also see to the positive governance of the country. How, in your opinion, you think that we could nip some of these things in the bud so they don't even grow to this stage that is very scary and threatens the security of the nation?
Thank you very much, my brother. Before I make my submission, I would like to draw your attention to the petitioners.
Okay, you are still on the petition.
Yes, I want to.
Because there's no time.
As a layman, I just want to use 1 minute to make, then I'll jump to the. Give me one. I'm wondering the petitioners' legal team chastising the integrity of Chachu. And I think I have been in law courts in the States. I have never seen anywhere that you go after the evidence, not the individual that is representing, be he a murderer or what have you. And if they are talking about integrity, Ghanaians should watch behind the legal team of the petitioners. There's a drug baron sitting next to them. So if they are in the company of a drug...
Who could that be?
Ghanaians will know what I'm talking. They should look right behind him.
That's a serious allegation.
I'm telling you, they should look right behind him, an incarcerated drug baron in their company, all right, sitting side by side to the right behind the council of the MPP and chastising the integrity of a legitimate, hard-working, decent, intelligent, are you getting me, person like Chachu. I'm so sorry that this is happening. And honestly, I'm not a judge, I'm not a lawyer, I'm a layman, and our judicial system should not allow individuals lawyers should not attack individuals' integrity or their image instead of attacking it should not be allowed, because if that goes on, it's going to descend outside the court, and that may cause mayhem. Having said all that, I'll make a quick comment.
Before you come to your turn on the Kumasi killing,
yes,
just allow me to take a quick commercial break. When I come back, the discussion and the studio continues. Stay with me. Hello and welcome back to the show. If you're just joining us, there's Ace Majority Caucus with me, Alida Dawood, live on your Multi TV, also live in Afghanistan, in Pakistan, even in Bangladesh on www.multitvworld.com. I think that I get the import of what Addison was trying to put across, that the word dishonesty, especially coming from Chachu, that is what he said. I think that is very, very unfortunate. If Addison, the lead counsel for the petitioners, thinks that at any material moment in time he could use the political persecution carried out by Kufuor and his administration against Chachu, ostensibly to tarnish his image and dent his credibility, to call his reputation into question, I don't think that Addison wants to do that. In any case, the elements, or if you want to call it the intent of dishonesty, is not required in the crime of causing financial loss to the state. It's not a requirement in causing financial loss to the state. It's not part of it. Dishonesty, you could find that in burglary, you could find that in theft, but it's not an element of criminal requirements in the crime of causing financial loss to the state. So I don't get where this is going. Addison, you need to be professional. I'm sure that you could take this low blow. I've been saying it on Facebook. Hey, Chachu is an ex-convict. I'm sure they know the history behind his incarceration. And any proper student of law will tell you that decision was in very, very bad taste. Indeed, I do not think that any court will cite that as a precedent. That's a matter of fact. Yeah. Atubiga, you on the floor.
Yeah.
Killings in Kumasi.
Yeah, killings in Kumasi. Victor Okran and Kwejo Asamoah, popularly called Gausu, or Gosu. 2012, these two people were among the people that the thugs that MPP recruited in Kumasi to terrorize people. Beat them and whatever you call snatch boxes. They were part of it. In 2012, these people beat an NDC sympathizer to the extent that he was paralyzed. That is why the police were looking for him. And lo and behold, he has always been in the custody, hiding underneath the shelter of the Honorable Member of Parliament for Menchia. And I think the police...
You mean Matthew Poku Prempeh?
Yes, Matthew Poku Prempeh has to be picked up by the police to be questioned. And I think he should be... A law should... I know maybe there's a law in Ghana for hiding a criminal, right? For hiding a wanted criminal. There should be a law. I'm not a lawyer, but I know. Living in the state for... Yes. Having said all that, this is a man that... There are a lot of MPP people in Kumasi. They roam about freely. Why didn't anybody, why that we've not heard, how come we've not heard that an MPP man has been beaten in Kumasi or where? Why Gausu and Co? Because of the dubious things they've done. If you hate somebody, you kill somebody, they have brothers, they have cousins, people, they have a big family. They have a big family.
In Ghana, they have extended family.
Yes. So
I want us to run away from this retaliatory approach to solving crimes.
Yes.
Can't we, have confidence, at least for once, in the law?
The only way we will have confidence, the other side of the bridge, which is the MPP, should boldly come out and make just one legitimate statement to the people of Ghana, that we, the people of MPP, want to live peacefully with all Ghanaians, it's a Ghanaian party. Once they, I mean, they will pick and choose their words that will calm people's nerves down. And so if that doesn't happen, believe me or not, you don't know how people are harboring whatever that they've been through under this Gaussian code.
The law should force them to
but their death is not legit. I mean, I'm not happy. I'm sorry for their families for what has happened, because they are human beings, they are Ghanaians, they are brothers, they could be anybody. It's a loss to mother Ghana.
Let me activate the phone lines. When I finish, you go on. Richard's on 030221170124. Keep dialing.
Yeah. Just as I was saying, let me give an example that I think there's a calamity or a disaster, Makola Market, right? The legitimate minister has been on the ground. He has spoken to the people. He has she has consoled them. She has even come out openly to tell them how they are going to help them with small loans. Besides the insult and the bickering and whatever against her, I'm very proud of her. Is it Oyelita? I'm very proud of her. She's a very strong woman. She stood on her ground. She did not care about the insult that were throwing to her. She showed them how she's going to help them. The women, the fathers, the mothers. Are you getting me? The president has also instructed the NADMO and other financial institutions under the NDC to make sure that their welfare is being taken.
Under the government?
Yes, under the government, to make sure that they have money. They give them soft loans, and all of a sudden.
But is it true that they went to the
MPP?
Yes,
they went to Akufo-Addo, and I don't know. And this is where I sit there and say, wow, is MPP behind this disaster? If not, why?
So true, a delegation from Kantamanto rather went to
They went there under what capacity? Is he a certain government?
Let me pick this call, and then I'll come back to you. Hello? Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Hello, sir.
Good evening. I'm calling from Yindi.
Okay. Thanks for calling. You're on air.
My name is Firdaus.
Firdaus, you're on air.
I just want to greet my senior colleagues who are the legal man and the other man for giving us this much education about the court and the matter in Kumasi. God should bless them and God should let them educate them more about it.
Okay.
So the lawyer, can I speak to the lawyer personally?
You mean off air? I'm sure that we'll try and get you his contact off air. Okay. Thank you very much for your views. Okay, hello. I have another caller. Ofayao.
Yeah, good evening. Good evening.
Yeah, Ofayao, can you lower the volume of your set?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yeah, I want to find out whether the thing sheet that you want to produce, the one from MTP Stronghold, whether you cannot get the opportunity to present them anymore, to bring them. That the opportunity is no more there for them to present it. The thing sheet from the Stronghold of the MTP.
Okay, the lawyer would answer that question.
For him to produce them again.
Yeah,
we'll be able to produce them after all.
Okay, the lawyer will answer that question. I have another caller. Nicholas, hello?
Hello.
Yeah, Nicholas, you're on air.
Yeah, just to let you know, I have known Mr. Chikata when I was a young boy in Tema. He's a very honest person. He's an eminent lawyer and a well-respected person. Even when I was in the UK, many people know him. As for these NPP people, ignore them. We know them. These JP, that's what tradition. We know them. You see, so you can't trust them. Okay. So we are not blah blah people. We are behind Chikata, and Chikata, we know what he's doing.
Of course.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're most welcome. I have Stephen Opoku. Hello, Stephen.
Hello.
Hello, Stephen.
Hello there.
You're on air.
Opoku Stephen, call from Braha for Doma East.
You're welcome to Majority Caucus.
Okay. About majority. The one question I'm asking you that the petitions of
okay, we lost that call. Council. I'll come. Well, I think you should finish the point. Yeah, just finish that one.
Yes, and I'm wondering why the leaders of Kantamanto will be doing with Nana Akufo-Addo. Nana Akufo-Addo is supposed to be the one who will go on ground to sympathize with them. So if Ghanaians, we as a Ghanaian, I want Akufo-Addo should do us a favor. Tell us what type of meeting that you had with the leaders of the Kantamanto people.
And what kind of discussion?
And I'm not surprised because the Ghana Medical Association president was part of the team that wrote the manifesto for the MPP. So if such a person, we are seeing that, having said all that, okay, we also have His Excellency, what's his name? Ajekum Kufuor.
Okay.
All right. He has forgotten so soon that when he took over office from NDC, how they handled His Excellency Jerry John Rawlings, his privileges. This man had to virtually
carry his bag,
was not allowed to go to certain areas. And we have been so kind to invite you on certain programs, activities that His Excellency, and you've attended. Are you getting me? But to cry that the president did not invite you at the Bui, it's a cheap shot.
Council, this question as to whether the NDC would have another opportunity to produce that pink sheet from the MPP stronghold. Somebody wants to know.
That's why initially I said that I was overjoyed 2 days ago by that ruling. That put all the 26,002 pink sheets in issue. Okay. All the court said was that they qualified it that, if you want to ask questions about anyone that is not before us, let the questions be composite. But any one of them can come. So there's an opportunity for the EC in the witness box to bring them. There's an opportunity when I say you get young mouse the witness box to bring any print sheet to disprove and to discredit the evidence of the petitioners. So there's more opportunity,
And that, just a quick clarification, Council. Would Asedun Ketia be the star witness for both the first respondent and the third respondent?
Indeed, Asedun Ketia has sworn the affidavit for both the first respondent and third respondent. You see, in this matter, the NPP itself has said that it has no problem with the NDC. Initially, Jake started accusing NDC of conniving and fraudulently changing results to favor President Mahama, sorry. Then later in their petition, they dropped all those claims, which they knew very well they cannot prove. They were all lies. Threw the lies to the public, and then they went to court with flimsy excuses, claims. Now, when he mounts the witness box, you say you have no case with him. What are you going to ask him? He is just going to tell you what happened at the police station. And the fact that the print sheet, the face of the print sheet alone, is not what the EC based its declaration on. There are other things that went on. In the EC strong room, when the papers were coming, when the results were coming, they were asked to call their people on the ground to verify. They did. They signed. So these are the things that Asedun Ketia is going to put.
Do you know what is strikingly odd? All of a sudden, I think for the purposes of legal expediency, Bawumia all of a sudden hasn't heard anything. Even the press conference where he said he sat in when Akufo-Addo was giving those statements, he said he doesn't remember. All that he does is he remembers. Some of those excuses and attempt to run away from objective issues, it's just so obvious and weak.
That is why, as a
in 15 seconds,
as a caring,
we are wrapping up.
As a caring, let me say, daddy, Chachu, we want to prompt you that you are on oath. Be careful. All these can be proved, and immediately they are proved, you'll be committing perjury.
And it's a serious offense.
Atubiga,
your final words in 30 seconds.
My final words in 30 seconds. Thank you. My final words, I would like to greet and thank the people of Binduri. That's
I forgot to mention that.
Yes.
You contested and lost by a vote. It's 2 votes.
Yes.
Okay. In the primaries.
Anyway.
Okay. What does that mean by that?
Yes. Let me just make a word on that.
Yes.
Except that there's no time, Council.
I'm just saying that Nana-Addo is still in the campaign mood. So you shouldn't be surprised that he's still receiving people from the market and all. You remember that before they went to court, we heard news that he had asked the council, the NPP, council, Council of Elders, that he wants to contest again in 2016. And you remember that immediately Professor Mills was sworn in 2009. Nana started campaigning for 2012. So
they said that
exactly,
our president in opposition.
That is exactly what he's doing.
Unfortunately, we've run out of time. And but let me quickly say hi to Theophilus Kofitewia. You are in Leicester getting ready to write your exams. You don't miss this program for any reason. All the best in your coming exams. And then I also say a very nice good evening to all the people of North Iowa. So thanks for watching. I'll be here, inshallah, on next week, Tuesday, for another powerful edition of Majority Caucus. Till then, be good and enjoy your weekend. Bye-bye.